Hello and welcome to Miss White's grade 10 math class. We're talking about 6.1, completing the square. Now if you sat in my class, then you know that I was explaining why things are happening, how did we create these things. That's not what this video is for. I'm just going to run you through all the steps quite a few times, help you to practice it so you can really get a feel for what are you doing, what are all the steps that you're following, and then, you know, if you want to know why these things are happening, you can talk to me about it later, okay? So feel free to ask me in class if you see me. Okay, so x squared plus 6x plus 14. So I'm looking to see if there's a number here. There's no number here. And by the way, the whole point in completing this square is to create vertex form. Vertex form is a x minus h squared plus k. So that's why I want to have just an x. I don't want to have any number in front of my x because when I factor it, I want to be able to say just x and not have like a number in front. Okay, so I look to see there's no number in front. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this middle number that's in front of the 6 and I'm going to do 6 divided by 2 squared. Okay, 6 divided by 2 squared, by the way, is 3 squared, which is 9. Okay, so now I'm just going to add in that 9. X squared plus 6x and plus 14, these are all from the original. And I'm just going to add a 9 into the middle. Right there. But I can't just add 9, that's illegal. So I'm also going to subtract a 9 because then I'm adding 0, right? 9 minus 9 is 0. So I'm just trying to get it so that I get this perfect square trinomial right here. And I know it's a perfect square trinomial because if I do something times something equals 9 and something plus something equals 6, well, that's going to be 3 and 3, right? It's because that's the same factor. I know that's a perfect square trinomial. So when I factor it, it's going to be x plus 3 squared. Okay, this 3 is the same number that goes here. And then the rest of it, I got 9 minus 9 plus 14. Minus 9 plus 14 is positive 5. So I'll put that there. Okay, and now I'm in factored form. Or sorry, not factored form, vertex form. So I can find my vertex. It says find the vertex. So just like before, finding the vertex. Inside the brackets, change the sign. Outside the brackets, keep it the way it is. My vertex is negative 3, 5. So the second one, I've got a number here, and I don't want that number. Again, I want that to just say x squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor that 2 out of the first two terms. I don't care about that 9. I'm just going to let it hang out on the side. And that's true for everything. So anytime you see a number, just the constant, you can just leave it alone until the very end, the very last step, okay? So I'm factoring that 2 out. So I'm going to do 2 times x squared plus 6x plus 9. Okay, so all I did was factor the 2 out of the first two terms. Then I'm going to take this 6 here. I'm going to do the same thing as I did before, 6 divided by 2 squared, which is 3 squared, which is 9. So I'm going to add and subtract 9 inside of the brackets. X squared plus 6x. I'm going to do plus 9 minus 9. And then this extra 9 is hanging out on the side. Okay, so now I have a perfect square trinomial sitting inside of my brackets, but I've got this extra thing out here and I don't want it. So I want to so that I just have a perfect square trinomial inside the brackets. To kick that out, I'm going to do distributive property, so I'm going to multiply it. So I get 2x squared plus 6x plus 9, and I'm going to multiply 2 times negative 9, which gives me negative 18 plus 9. Okay, so everything was the same except I took that 2 and that negative 9 and I multiplied them together to get negative 18. Everything else is exactly the same. Now I've got my perfect square trinomial sitting right here because 3 times 3 is 9, 3 plus 3 is 6. So 2 times x plus 3 squared, don't forget to put the squared on the outside, negative 18 plus 9 is negative 9. My vertex then is negative 3, negative 9. Okay? Now, of course, feel free to pause me or put me on half speed or 2 times speed, whatever you need. Or you can stop watching if you feel confident, you feel ready, or you can pause, practice, try to do part D, restart me again, you know, do what you got to do. Try it out yourself. That's super important. Okay, So I'm just going to run through these last three, and then we'll be done. So again, factoring out that 3, so 3 times x squared plus 12 divided by 3 is 4x plus 15. Taking this 4, I'm going to do 4 divided by 2 squared. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so 2 squared is 4. So now I'm doing 3 times x squared plus 4x plus 4 minus 4 plus 15. Okay. Kicking out that negative 4 by multiplying it by the number in front. So negative 4 times 3 gives me negative 12 plus 15. Now I can factor x squared plus 4x plus 4 using this 2 again. So x plus 2 squared. Negative 12 plus 15 is positive 3. So I get 3x plus 2 squared plus 3. My vertex is negative 2, 3. Okay. We're going to do 2 more. Again, if you want to pause me, do the question first, and then, start it again, see if you're right. Feel free to do that. Factoring out my negative 2 is 12x. Now, actually, I'm going to skip a step here. Now that I have my negative 12, that's the number I needed. I'm going to do negative 12 divided by 2 squared, which is negative 6 squared, which is 36. So I'm going to add and subtract 36 inside the brackets right now. If you feel uncomfortable doing that, skipping that step, you don't have to do that. You can show extra steps. That's totally fine. But if you like, you're the type of person who likes to skip steps, that's a good one to skip, because you're kind of doing the 2 things separately anyways. Okay, kicking out that negative 36, always kicking out the negative. Negative 2 times negative 36 is positive 72 minus 3. So I get negative 2, x minus 6 squared plus 72 minus 3 is 69. Again, taking that negative 6 and putting it in here in my brackets. Okay, now this question is asking me what's the maximum or minimum value. So if you see that your a is negative, then you know that you have a maximum value, because we're in vertex form, so we know that that is going to be a vertical flip. And so it's opening downwards. That's why you get a maximum. And the maximum or minimum value is always the y value, so maximum is 69. Okay, you're not writing the whole vertex there, you're just writing the y value. All right, one more. Again, factoring out that 5, x squared minus 8x, taking that negative 8, dividing by 2, and squaring. That's negative 4 squared, so it's 16 plus 16 minus 16 plus 4. This is 5 times x squared minus 8x plus 16. Negative 16 times 5 is negative 80 plus 4. So this becomes 5 times x minus 4 squared. Again, this negative 4 right here. Minus 80 plus 4 is negative 76. I'm in vertex form. Want to know if it's a maximum or minimum, so this is a is positive. So that means I'm not doing a vertical flip, so it's opening upwards. So that tells me I have a minimum value, and it's always the y value, negative 76. Okay? So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. You can ask me in class, and I'll see you next time. Bye.